Welcome to the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris and want to say Happy New Year to you from the Journey 2020. Hope the holidays was great and that as you looked under the tree, that there was something for you, and that when the clock struck zero and we came into the new year, and that you was in a place of peace and acceptance and around some good people with family and friends. With that being said, once again, Happy New Year. Charles Morris, where we come to you every Monday at 7 p.m. at www.thejourney2020.com. Also on Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook. Make sure you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. Would appreciate that. With that being said, we've been around since 2013, and we talk about some of any and everything. And as my old co-host used to say, Dr. Robertson would say, the journey is from me to you and from you to me, so we can reach a high level. And that's what we try to do. And we have a lot of fun, and we talk about some fun stuff and some serious stuff as well. And just a reminder, remember the third Monday of every month, we have Kathy Meeks. She is from Robertson and Associates, and she's our sex therapist. And the fourth Monday is that we have Haki Nkrumah from Young Fathers of Central Florida, educating us on child support and how important it is that we try to support young fathers all over this nation, and the help that they need and the things that we can do to help build the next generation. He does a great job with that. So you make sure that you tune in to Haki Nkrumah the fourth Monday of every month from Young Fathers of Central Florida. And with that being said, as we start the new year, I thought that what a better way to talk about starting off 2019. And if you've been watching the show for the past couple of months or so, I like to invite my guests on, and that is Christina Forrest. How you doing, Miss Forrest? Happy New Year. How you doing?
Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, how was your New Year?
It was fantastic. I couldn't ask for better. We got a new Congress, so I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about our future as a country. And so there's a lot of drama going on, but there's hope.
Well, actually, before I even introduce you, in which I want to say that you're part of the Florida Black Caucus, but I wanted to say, put your seatbelt on, strap yourself in. Are you ready for this trip that we're about to take down this road of madness that we want to talk about? So I want to say, strap yourself in. You're ready for this trip that we want to talk about. But that's the way it's been the last two years. So with that being said, I mean, is there anything new under the sun?
Going on right now, unfortunately, they didn't have a very Merry Christmas because they weren't getting paid, and many of them still having to show up for work. So I am hoping and praying that he comes to his senses and realizes that his campaign promises can't be. This isn't how you negotiate a campaign promise. You put a bill through, you see if it gets passed, and you go forward from there. You can use his negotiating skills. It doesn't have to happen on the backs of innocent people.
But
well, he sits.
Well, I mean, we've talked about Trump before, and it's just like beating the same drum over and over again, and his mindset and his base and how he sees things, how he sees himself, so on and so forth. And again, a lot that takes place with Trump, I don't really blame him because he's always been who he is, and he's never tried to hide his spirit and who he is. I think that once, I guess, Rush Limbaugh said what he said, and I think there was someone else, and that's when he basically backtracked and wouldn't sign. He wouldn't sign the bill. I guess that everybody had agreed on, because of originally.
Congress,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Congress actually worked, and it was a Band-Aid, but it was just to keep the government open and working through February, so that folks didn't have to live in fear and concern, through the holidays and whatnot. And it was bipartisan, truly, truly bipartisan. Both Republican and Democrats decided, hey, we can work this out through legislature. This is not the way we want to do it. We don't have to shut the government down. He refused to sign it and threw a big old temper tantrum and did so playing with people's paychecks.
But now, I'm always intrigued, and I always ask you this question because of the circle that you're in, and I ask you about having Republicans friends. When something like this take place, and he's doing what he's doing, have there been any conversations among your friends that are Republicans, understanding like maybe one of those Republicans are not picking up a paycheck right now?
No, truthfully, I don't know. No one I know who's not getting a paycheck.
But I mean, even so, that they may have a comment in reference to understanding the dynamic of what he. It's just it's hard for me because I don't look at things the way a lot of people look at things. I don't look at a Republican. I don't look at a Democrat. I look at what's right and what's wrong. And I think that's what really bothers me more than anything that's going on right now, because it doesn't take much to understand what's right and what's wrong. And then when you are put in the position that you're in, and when you won't step up to the plate and just focus on what's right and wrong, you're just trying to get along, and you're just trying to make sure that you hold your seat and be among those who are just trying to make it about the party and themselves, and not about the position that you're in for the people and what you and how you're supposed to serve. And I think that's what's really hard for me, looking at all of this and what's transpired over these 2 years, and nobody cares about what's right and that from that party, it seems. That's what really bothers me.
My opinion, and just my opinion, is that his supporters, that he should, and I really that they don't believe that not giving it would be the right thing to do. His supporters support him. They support him 110%. And they're getting a paycheck, not getting a paycheck, I think they're still going to feel the same way. I think they're going to think whatever he says, whatever he does is right. And they will justify it by any means they can. By either saying what we're saying is fake news, by meeting us, by whatever they want to do. If Trump wants this, his supporters will support him.
Well, he don't, he's not about anything in reference to the people and what's right. And he always make it a war among themselves and others. And when he'll make reference to a judge being a Democratic judge and not a judge that's there for the people, and he always make it the left versus the right, or white versus black, or something in reference to his spirit and how he does what he does. And it's just depressing that people follow along is what bothers me, because he's entitled to be who he is. I mean, if that's who he is, then. But the fact that people stand alongside of him and just agree with his madness is just so disheartening as a whole, looking at this country being in the position that they're in, because they certainly are not for the people. And that whole rhetoric about the wall and how silly and stupid that is, and it's written, and if you really was to research it and understand what's really going on, but nobody really cares. It's just that he's in the fog, and the people are in the fog, and they don't care about being in the fog when it comes to that whole thing of the wall, because that's just something that he threw out there trying to get votes, and the people have fallen
Right.
for it. And so it's not about border security, because that's not really going to secure anything, but that's what he's running on, and that's what people want to believe. But again, when you just basically catering to the ignorance of people, I don't know what you can really say or do, because it's just sad. And that's what I was saying about Rush Limbaugh. He caters to the
So
ignorance of the people.
he does. So here's the whole thing about the whole border security. If he cared so much about border security, those working on the border would be getting paid. They're not getting paid right now. They're not getting paid. Homeland Security is not getting paid. The Justice Department's not getting paid. The State Department, the Treasury Department, the EPA, the NASA, they're not getting paid. So if it was all about border, don't you think an FBI is working without pay? Control what we just talked about, working with the Coast Guard, working without pay. Secret Service is working without pay, and transportation is working without pay. TSA.
Wow.
All those folks right now are working without pay.
And again, I just like I said, it just, I mean, I learned at a young age what's right and what's wrong, and it's a power play. It's about what's right for me, and the power that you want to possess, and whatever that is. And now, just off the cuff, just for a second, I was sitting there thinking about when he was at Bush's funeral, and the country recognizing one of his former presidents. I wonder, at any point in time, is there anything in his mind that would say to himself, like, when I die, how this country is going to recognize me, and who's going to get up there and say what? And not that it would matter to him, but I just wonder if that just ran across his mind just for a quick millisecond, because not anything other than, if I'm alive around when that happens, I really want to see who stand up and speak for this man at his funeral when the nation recognize this president. I hope that I'm alive to see that. I really want to know who is going to say what. I really want to see, because it's just like when you get up there and talk, it's like almost you just going to have to write a bunch of lies just to sound good, so it's I don't know.
The most narcissistic person I think I have ever heard. So I'm sure he thought about it. I'm sure he had and what it would be. But really, whatever. But I mean, you can see it from his erratic that he did all through the holidays. His little pity party. I'm sitting here all by myself. Meanwhile, I'm getting paid. Folks are furloughed. Folks are laid off. I mean, he was having a whole pity party all through the holidays. It's like, what is that about?
Well,
Shouldn't you be working on reopening the government? And
well,
I know you were talking about Rush Limbaugh, but I'm real concerned about Sean Hannity just said. He recommended that he go into the State of the Union address with the government still shut down. Another 2-3 weeks away. That is absolutely ridiculous, and that's where he's getting his cues from.
Well, the thing is that because of who he is and how he does what he's doing, it's going to always be the ridiculous, because he has nowhere else to go but with the ridiculous. So everything that he's going to do and that he taps into is going to be with the ridiculous, because that's just who he is. And again, what bothers me is that nobody from the Republican Party is standing up and going, this is foolishness. Enough is enough. and they don't want to disassociate themselves. And that's what bothers me. Because I get Trump. He's easy to understand. He's not difficult to understand. You know, his spirit is easy to understand. But to want to keep going along with his madness, and none of them want to just step up to the plate and say, you know what, I don't agree with this, to the point that
Not the Republican Party. It's a Trump party. It's something very different. It's a nationalist Trump party, not Republican. Those aren't what I would consider Republican ideals or values or any of that. That's a whole bunch of BS. And they're afraid that those Trump supporters, those hardcore Trump supporters, probably make up half of their electorate. They don't want to be turned out. So they're afraid.
But
I think they're running on how Trump-ish can I be? How much can I show that I support this guy? That's what they're running on, and that's what's scary. It's not so much that himself is scary. What scares me is what comes after him. What scares me is the precedent that he sets. That's what's scary.
well, let me ask you, maybe you can help me, because let's talk about the ladies in the House. You know, the ladies that are now in the House. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, this was really, really powerful. So one of, with the new Congress that's coming in, there's a lot. We have the largest congressional Black Caucus ever in history. A lot of outspoken, powerful women. And I'm just excited about what the future. One of the rules that they proposed automatic voter registration, nationwide early voting, public financing of elections, congressional gerrymandering, and release of presidential tax returns for both whoever gets the presidential and vice presidential nominees. So they came out swinging. So I am super, super, super. We have the youngest Black woman ever in Congress. We've got Representative Underwood. We've got 2 Native American reps, David and Representative Holland. The first Somali candidate, Representative Omar. Representative Tlaib is the first Palestinian American, I believe. So I am super excited about this diversity, power, and just beautiful new Congress. Beautiful.
Wow. No.
And again, we only control the House. We still don't control the Senate. So right now, Democrats make up 235 of the House of Representatives. Republicans make up 199. The Senate is still Republican, so 53 Democrats to 53 Republicans to 43 Democrats. Now, the House of North Carolina is still unresolved, so there was no win for the House for the North Carolina race.
Wow.
So that's going to be more than likely decided in courts.
So how, and I know that you can't answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Well, I guess what I'm asking is, where do you see the Mueller investigation going now? Is what I wanted to ask. Where do you see it going now?
With the Mueller investigation, it's really like, the way I look at it is it's like a chess game. I think all the pawns are pretty much gone. And now he's moving to the higher pieces. You're getting to the which I think is going to make my sense is within 6 will never prevent finality of the Mueller investigation. And I think with the Congress there to back him up, I think the House has the votes to actually impeach him. Whether or not he would actually be removed from office, profits will more depend on the Senate. So I don't know that it's there to remove it, but maybe there are enough that he doesn't run again. Or we'll just have to see what happens. Hopefully there'll be a criminal indictment is my hope. Because this has been an awfully long investigation, and there have been, and it hasn't been without fruit. I mean, more people have been arrested and indicted than any other criminal investigation. He can't hang on to people. You know, his cabinet is checking out, and they're telling him, "Hey, I'm not hanging out with you. They are gone." So he can't keep people around him because of what he does and who he is. And yeah, I hope within the next 6 months we'll have finality with that, and we will actually know what we want.
But see, the hard, well, not hard, I was going to say the hard part about trying to keep up is that there's just so much, from his daughter being investigated, the son-in-law being investigated, the sons being investigated, the foundation being investigated. And so you just wonder how all of that plays part in everything, because there's just so much that's out there, and you just wonder how it all ties together. And even though some of the people that are still under in investigation and so on and so forth, that is almost like you look to the left, you look to the right, you look up, you look down, and just like all these different pieces, just trying to put them all together. And you wonder if it's what's going to be the real outcome. I mean, the final outcome.
It may not be anything. It may not be anything huge. It might be taxes. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. Taxes. I think getting his tax returns are going to show a lot. Not just how much he pays, but to whom he pays. Not just did he invest in charities. What charities did he invest in? Is he taking advantage of loopholes that are out there? What is he doing? I think that's going to show more, not only what he's done, but who his character is. I think it's going to say that more, and also where those ties. I think I would really look forward to hearing about what's going on with Deutsche Bank. That's one of the largest laundering banks, and his family has ties to. So, looking to see where that comes. I think is going to be really important in the next couple of months.
Wow. So again, I love asking this question. What's the talk between you and the Black Caucus? And I just, I just would love to be in the room, just sitting around, just hearing you guys talk about what's going on and the people and just everything. I just wonder what those meetings are like, because this is something totally different, so I just wonder what it's like. It's just from A to Z, strategy, what you're thinking about next, what you're going to do next, can you try to predict something? No, this is too crazy. So what is it like? What takes place in these meetings now? What do you guys talk about?
Well, I don't want to speak ignorantly, and unfortunately, the last thing I wasn't able to attend. So I am still kind of getting email on everything. A lot of it's been brainstorming, giving feedback as far as the election, what everybody did, and trying to take that forward and getting things right. We have work to do. So it's getting that, and then also remembering that. Each of us are kind of working within our own community to make sure we get the word to have completed all of their have patients who have done everything and have been acquitted, not have completed all their sentencing, and go and vote if they were not convicted of sexual. Make sure that gets out. because that's actually one of the things that was really lost when Andrew Gillum did breaks about. But you have the same thing. What we wanted to do was to slow that up and say, no, we should wait until March so we can come up with a bill to put this through. And it was like, no, we already voted, and the whole state already voted. This goes into effect Tuesday. So, he wanted to drag his feet on it. It was one of the first things he did was to talk about it and say, no, we should wait. And the bill was self-explanatory. So I'm so grateful for those who got the motion and made it what it was.
All right. Well, when will you be in Florida again? When will you be in Florida again?
I will definitely be there in June, and then I hope to be there maybe in March, but definitely in June.
Yeah, I got a nice postcard from Jill from the Black Caucus, and the Christmas postcard, and so it was good hearing from her, and everything. And I try to keep up with her, because of her daughter and what she goes through, with her health and everything. And so whenever I can, at some point she calls me back because I send her a text message. I'll call and I'll text her and I'll call. And at some point she'll go, well, and then she go like, oh, okay, give me the update and tell me how your daughter doing. Tell me how you doing. Blah, 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 blah. But I did get a nice postcard from her and from the Black Caucus and everything, and thanking me for, working with them and everything. But I should be thanking her for giving me the opportunity and everything. And but what is the next? I mean, when is the next, I guess, meeting or the next conference for the Black Caucus?
Our biggest meeting is going to be in June, but we'll have another one, I want to say, in March. So that's when I hope to be there. But the huge meeting will be in June. So excited. I'm looking forward to it. Work to, when DeSantis, Florida really lost. I know there's a lot of hope and a lot of positivity about the new Congress and everything, but Florida, we still got a lot of work to do. When DeSantis won, or when Andrew Gillum didn't win, the healthcare expansion. Virginia, just this past week, expanded Medicaid to over 200,000 low-income families. That could have been Florida. That's what we lost when Andrew lost, and that hurts 200,000 people who currently do not have covered, have been covered through Medicaid expansion, through no additional increase in your taxes. It wouldn't have cost us anything. DeSantis isn't going to expand Medicaid, and in fact, the person who we hired to oversee Medicaid will be against the ACA. So those are the kind of things we are going to have to fight every step of the way. And when Andrew lost, we lost our champion in common sense gun reform. So we're going to have to fight arming teachers in schools every step of the way. We're going to have to fight open carry in Florida. It does not work the same for Black people as it does for white people. It doesn't. We are going to have to fight and stand up every step of the way. Closing gun show loopholes. Being able to get a gun, trade this gun for that gun without having to go through a background check. We're not going to be able to close those loopholes, which we would have been able to do had Andrew Gillum won. The expansion of voting rights, making sure that it's uniform across the state. We lost that ability when Andrew lost. So not only was Andrew like the most amazing candidate, in my opinion, ever, but everyday people lost when he lost. So everyday people now have to step up and fight step by step by step through this administration to make sure that what we stand for and what we believe is still coming forth.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the notes, and you were talking about no black Florida Supreme Court justices. That was part, part of your notes as well. And
Some of them walked out.
right. Well, and I was looking at some of your notes here, and I had to laugh, but I can't read it. But I mean, I can read it, but I can't read it on the show. But but
Whatever.
huh?
Whatever.
No, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's not like really bad. I mean, nothing really bad, but it was. And you said something. Well, never mind. I know, man. Um, so
What it
no,
sounds like.
Gary Mandering will cause who? Jerry
Gerrymandering.
will
So,
cause issues in 2020.
yes, absolutely. So the whole Florida redistricting is going to happen under this administration. So that's my fear and concern with that. They're going to draw the lines as who they want to
Oh,
win. So
okay.
it's going to be another court battle.
Well, in 2020, are you thinking of there any? Well, I can't. Surprises. I mean, every day it's funny because every morning I wake up and I turn on CNN, MSNBC, and I be looking like, okay, so what's gonna happen today? What's And then the thing is that Trump always end up being Trump, no matter what the situation, the circumstances. He always do the Trump thing. He never fails. Is it like he never fails to be where he doesn't do a Trump thing? It's just that way. And so I'm still thinking about the Mueller investigation, but now that the the Democrat has the House, I'm thinking now that even Mueller is even more protected. It's even more protected because I'm trying to think that
Yes,
he's may at one point try to stop it or shut it down. So I think
right.
that
And yeah, absolutely. And that's why he was going so hard after Mueller, trying to get him shut down before January. Um, and he couldn't. And so that was his goal. At least that's what I think. That's just my personal opinion. That was his goal, to try and shut him down before January, before the new Congress took effect. He couldn't do it. So now, and then Mueller's, it's hard. He's not stupid. So a lot of his indictments are sealed. He's got stuff everywhere. Something to him, or if he removed, those things can still be open. So his legacy is going to live on whether or not he's in that position or not. But yeah, I definitely think having a delegate is going to definitely protect him more.
so and and I ask you this and what is next? And I'll ask you this: what is next for the Black Caucus, for the Florida Black Caucus? What are your main focus now?
Getting folks registered to vote, voter education. We can't keep losing by 0.5%, 1%, 2%. We can't. So listening to folks why they didn't come out, making sure we're meeting the needs of the folks we're saying we want to represent, and that um, we have a lot of work to do. So getting out and getting that message out, that's what we need to do right now. Sure, we're bringing in new people, that we're bringing in youth, that we make sure that we're not silencing making sure that everybody's got a seat at the table. I think that's really how we start mentoring for the future. We need it.
Wow. So, I keep saying that you probably should be somewhere running for something, right? I don't know what, but
I don't know
always,
either.
but I think that you should, because I mean, every time I talk to you, you give me hope, that there's good people that's in this thing and that's trying to make a difference. So, with that being said, it's just so difficult, just trying to believe, just trying to believe. Again, I always talk about how the system is set up, and the system and the people get into these positions, but I just think that there's just something wrong with us. I really do, because it's just people don't care about what's right, just care about what's right for them, and it becomes so disheartening and so frustrating. And then there's people like you that you can, you can't keep hope alive because of your passion and because that you care, and I know
I
that there's a lot of people like you know. And so, I mean,
and I believe that, and there's good progress. Like folks like Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson Lee, and some of the new who are coming up. I am super, super, super excited, and I just can't wait. And the thing is that we can all step up and play a part in our own communities. We don't have to wait for somebody else to come in. If there's something that needs to be done, we can go in and we can start being facilitate that change that needs to be done. We can make change at the local level. That affects our neighbors. That has more effect than anyone else. So, we can help in the senior center. We can help support our youth. We can help push for education and showing youth that there is a way to achieve and thrive. And showing them that yes, all this is completely messed up. What are your suggestions to fix it? How do you want to fix it? And giving them the tools to do so.
But see, let me ask you something that's on a personal level. When you understand what's really going on, and you see people who oppose to what should be so obvious, to look and take care of the people, and this should be in place for this and this place for that, and whatever reason that this spirit over here says, no, it shouldn't be that I shouldn't be there to do what I need to do to help this nation, to help each other. And for whatever that is, that we can't hold hands and try to bring each other up and lift each other up for whatever reason, because I don't understand it. What do they say? I mean, when you say, when they don't want this program, which is obviously needed, it can be something for the elderly. And of course, it's something for those that may not have the income. But what is that conversation like? Do you sit and talk about why they don't want this program, or a particular person who may be a part of the different party, to try to explain why they don't want it for the sake of, for what is right and for what is good for the people?
I'm sure always try to explain why they don't want it. Folks try to explain why they don't want healthcare, is that government shouldn't be involved in it. But I can't think of a better cause for my taxes to go to than care for the health of somebody, rather than knowing they're dying. There's no greater cause for me. So for me, what I do is I remember some of the messages. I used to go to Selma every year, and some of the messages I learned there stayed with me. folks who started libraries who didn't have more than $10 in their pocket, and from there created systems of education. I know things are possible when we can do anything. I know we can. And I just think instead of listening to folks who tell me I can't, when people tell me no, that just means I can't do it right then and there, or the way I want to do it. It doesn't mean I can't do it. So it just means I got to find another avenue. It doesn't mean it can't happen.
Right. Right. You know, that's, and the thing is, that's a very positive way of looking at things, because what you just said, sometimes people can live 3 lifetimes and don't get to that level of understanding that you just have to go about it another way, just accepting it, just saying, you know, and to get to an understanding to say, okay, well, it's always been done this way, and I just been told no. Now I just need to take and look at another avenue, and that takes heart and a belief in prayer and inner self to be driven to understand that there's more than one way. And just because the odds seem against you, there's another door that you have to try to open. And for some of us, we don't ever learn that life lesson, you know, which is sad.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I think if your motive is right, you know, if you're about helping people, and let's say I go to city council and city council says no. Okay, well, I can start fundraising and get a permit this way. And I can still apply next year. After I've done this or the other, I can go and get a grant through this other company. Or I can there's lots of different things that I can do. Or maybe I can't start it the way I want to start it. Maybe I have to start it faith-based, and then from there branch out, you know? And there's no problems with that. So long as the work is getting done. And so long as people's needs are getting met.
No, let me ask you something personal. Not personal, but when the shutdown started, right? And it was, of course, during the holidays, and which was very comical. And I think we kind of talked about it when Trump said he was sitting there in the White House by himself. He was sitting in the White House by himself before Christmas, because everybody done left him. So the only people around you are your peeps, which means your brother. I mean, your son-in-law and your sons and your daughters. That's who's there. But what was that like for you? You know, because they, you know, you saw them. People walked out. I mean, there was nobody there, but you kind of, sort of. Did you think that did you think anything different was going to happen than what happened? Once it shut down.
I had hoped it wouldn't get to a shutdown. I hoped it wouldn't do that on Christmas, or for the new year. And it's just a massive temperature check. I just hoped it wouldn't get to that point. But once it did, like you said, nothing he does really surprises me. So I have very little faith in anything that comes from him. I am hoping that enough of own support on him to end this shutdown. That's where that's going to come from. They're going to have to step up and be leaders. So, you know, 800,000 people that either aren't getting paid or are working without pay is ridiculous. And that doesn't even include the contractors, because those contractors aren't getting paid either. 800,000 people. And honestly, in my own personal opinion, I believe he thinks this is how he saves money for the government, because this is how he does his own businesses. He just lays them off for a couple months. He gets enough work done, and he's like, hey, I don't have to pay this, that, or the other. We can do a 1 month layoff. And I think that's how he's doing it with the federal government. That's my own personal opinion. That's not based off of anything else.
Well, that was brought to the attention. I heard them, you know, actually report on that, because that's the way he does business, you know, because he's all about skipping out on you if he can have you do the work and then not pay you and go around you, or whether or not he has to file for bankruptcy or something so he doesn't have to pay you. He wants the work to be done and not pay you because to him, that's a smart guy. You see, so to him, that's the American way. To him, that's making America great again. So but he's not hard to figure out. He's been consistent his entire life. So he doesn't sway to the left, because he's not the kind of con guy to try to change this up, change that up. He's consistently who he is 24/7. So he's not hard to understand. Again, I'm just blown away at the people that be standing next to him and be like, I love you, man. I love you. So, so that's what gets me. I don't get that. It's just like, I wonder if it, you know what? I don't want to say this, but, well, I give you an example. Let me make it an example. Okay. I wonder if an example would be like, through his madness, they come to find out that Donald Trump may have done something on a criminal act that maybe somebody died. Okay. And then it can be proven. And then I still think that they'll stand next to him and say, well, not really. Well, he was going to die anyway. I mean, you see what I'm saying? That they'll still just stand there, and it's not about what's right. It's just what's right for them. And it's just so sickening to see people, and it's just like Donald Trump old as coffee. And to be that old, and I don't mean as in old, I meant old as in at some time you should learn something in life in reference to what's right or wrong, that you should understand. You should at least try to get into heaven some kind of way. At some point you should say, you know what, before I die, I should try to get into heaven and not the other place. But it's like, I don't care. It's just like, well, they gonna know me when I get there. It may be hot, but everybody will know me. So it's just like, at some point you should say, I should do something to try to get into heaven. Something, just something. But he has no concept. None, zero, zilch, none. But that's just him.
And so, and it's not going to change until his supporters speak up and say that they're finished with him. It's not going to change until those around him basically have a coup and say, hey, we're that's what it's going to take. Is for them to actually say we're done. And with 800,000 people out of work, and then on top of that, for federal workers who may have been hoping for some sort of already frozen their pay. So not only are some not going to get back paid, some will. Some won't. Contractors absolutely won't. And then on top of that, no race.
I wonder.
That's just crummy. And for you who was saying that, you can finally say Merry Christmas again, and you can which that was never taken away ever. But that was his whole mantra. Couldn't even keep the national Christmas tree lit.
I wonder, out of those 800,000 employees, I wonder how many of them voted for Trump. I really wonder how. I wonder how many of them voted.
Excited about what's going forward, and we'll see what the future holds.
I don't know. I just think Trump is the way that I look at him is that he has truly helped some who've been walking around with blinders on about a lot of what this country is. and they don't want to believe the truth
Yes.
and how we're so divided and how people see themselves and how they see others, and so the truth is, revealed in the sense of the attitude and just how divided this country is and how people really see other people. Because I have that discussion sometimes. And I have it a lot. And in that discussion, it's just like, but you don't see how they see you. And they refuse to see how other people see them. It's just so amazing to me. The history, there's nothing new under the sun. People see themselves above other people and they act that way. And so their response is that you're supposed to be beneath me. There's no other answer to the way that my life should be lived, is that my life should be lived that you people are beneath me. And that's what they truly believe. And that's how they live their lives. They see you less than. And okay, but your inability to see it, and therefore, if you can't see it, then you don't know how to counter it even within yourself and how you live your life and how you do what you do to get to where you need to go. I don't blame them in that sense. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying your inability to see something that is so obvious, it's almost like you have a disease, but you don't want to acknowledge the disease. So there's something that you can take forward, but you won't take it because you won't acknowledge that you have it. But even though you do.
Right.
So, it's just like, it's crazy, So, I mean, you can't change people, but you can change your perspective, And the thing is, a lot of these people aren't hateful people. That's just how they see themselves. They're not trying to hate on you. They just think that they're better than you. And they just think you less than them. Some of them are not hateful. Some of them, well, that's just the way it's supposed to be. I am this and you are that. So, and some of them are hateful. But so it's just amazing to me. Sometimes you sit and you have these conversations and you just look at them and be like, what they gonna have to do? Hit you over the head with a 2x4? I mean, you're being shot, stabbed, and killed every day. What else needs to happen? There's a reason why the population in the jail system is the way that it is. There's a reason, not for the reason that they gonna tell you. That's not the reason.
No, absolutely.
But unfortunately, you have accepted their reason. That's the sad part. But I don't have to tell you that. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing you when you do come. So I hope that, do you have an idea where the meeting might be when you come to Florida?
I don't. I think they're set, so, yeah. So we'll see.
Well, I always love it when you guys come to Orlando. But then again,
We do too.
yeah, I love it when you guys come to Orlando. Orlando is a good place to be.
It is. Orlando's a great place to be. A lot of places in Florida are awesome. Yeah. And we are under incredible leadership, Lydia Hudson and Drake, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. We have so much work. Getting out, message out, making sure we're doing now what we have to 2020, we don't have any surprises. So we've got to lay that framework.
Now, I don't even, you know what? This is going to be another show, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Okay, no. This is another show. But for the Democratic Party, for the people who say, you know what, I want to run for the president of the United States, I think there's about 40 of them, right?
I think there's true contenders. I mean, the field is wide open. Warren, Elizabeth Warren was one of the first people to actually announce that she was doing an exploratory committee, but several people have already signed up. But she's the first, I believe, major contender to announce that she's running. I think Joe Biden might run. People are talking about Cory Booker. I'm a huge fan of Kamala Harris, and then you've got Beto Burke from Texas. It is just wide open, and it's exciting. You know, we're gonna have a true primary. I mean, those are all great people, and it'll all come down to wins. So
I think that you should run.
Our act together so that when it comes for us to get out the vote, that we've already made contact, already know who we are, that we're already established in the community, and that we are somebody who is dependable and consistent, and that we've got the framework to work and the frame of mind to work.
Okay. You didn't hear what I said, did you?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
I said I think you should run.
Oh no. Another amateur. No. No amateurs. No amateur hours.
No, but actually though.
Which part are you coming from? I do not have time for amateur hours.
No, but I tease you, and this would be my last question for you. I tease you about running. I tease you about running for something. But can you see yourself being a politician?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's why I take it to heart whenever you say they're all bad, because I do see myself as doing that or running for something. I would love to run for some soul or, there's different local offices I would like to do at some point. We don't have Florida is my home, but we're still moving and you have to have roots. And so it's kind of hard. So I'm happy to be an advocate and an activist and can speak out and help where I can and how I can.
Okay. Well, alrighty then. Well, I want to say Happy New Year to you again. Thank you so very much for taking the time to come on the Journey 2020. We should make it a routine where you just give us an update on what's going on, especially through the Florida Black Caucus, and just kind of keep us informed and kind of give us some of the scoop, under the table stuff. Not the total stuff, but just just a little stuff, just a little tease stuff, to keep us on the edge, kind of whisper it to us, let me tell you a little something, so, yeah. Okay, well, again, it's Christina Forrest. She is part of the Florida Black Caucus, and she keeps us informed on this wonderful world that we live in when it comes to politics and number 45. With that being said, again, Christine, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone, and blessings to you. And you be safe, and blessings to you and your family. All right, that's Christina Forrest. She is from the Florida Black Caucus, where she comes on here at the Journey 2020, kind of give us an update and fill us in. And we look forward to having her on the show. Always do. And hopefully she'll be back sometime real soon. Again, Happy New Year's to everyone. And that is from me and from the Journey 2020. Again, where we come to you every Monday at 7 p.m. at www.thejourney2020.com and YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. You make sure that you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. And remember, the third Monday of every month is Kathy Meeks. She is from Robertson and Associates. She is our sex therapist. And the fourth Monday, we have Akina Krumah from Young Fathers of Central Florida, here to help you out, take your questions, and to help you along the way when it comes to child custody and so other few things if you are a young father trying to find your way. That's right here at www.thejourney2020.com. I'm Charles Morris. Happy New Year once again. Enjoy the rest of your week. You be blessed. Journey.